What is going on, everybody? Bryce McKinley, Coach Sharpen. You know what time it is. Hey, we're in the REIA Results Academy, and Thursdays, you guys know what time it is. It's Q&A. So that's what we're going to do for the next 45 minutes, 50 minutes or so till about 6 o'clock. We've got Q&A, and I'm super excited to be on here today. I've got a few announcements for you, and I'm sure you probably have some questions for me. So if you're coming back on the replay, just seeing this first little tidbit here, I need you to do me a favor, smash the like button, share this out, invite someone into our group, but don't just do nothing. And so here's where I'm at. It's Thursday, it's June 18th, and every Thursday we do a Q&A call where my Academy members that are just getting started, maybe they've been in this for a while and they're trying to go to the next level, or maybe they're just like you watching this video right now and they're just wanting to get one or two more deals added to their repertoire consistently, month in and month out. That's what we're here for. So we're gonna dive in here. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to do some role playing. If you've got a deal and you want me to call them, we're going to call them together, but we're not just going to sit around and not do anything. So before I get started, I want to open this thing up. I've got my computer's freezing. Here we go. All right, we're good to go. So here's the deal. I got a couple of announcements. So if you guys haven't already been following me, I need you to go follow my professional pages, the REI Results Academy and Bryce McKinley, because if you don't know who I am, I'm an international speaker. I've been all over the world teaching, training, coaching with Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Ty Lopez, Matt and Caleb Maddox, just to name a few. And next weekend is no exception. Next weekend, I'm going to be in a live 2-day mastermind, and I'm going to put the link down in the comments so you guys can all join me. It's $100 to sit in the room with me, Damon John from Shark Tank, Kent Clothier, one of the most reputable, largest investors in the country, David Meltzer. You guys ever watch the movie Jerry Maguire? Like, show me the money. This is the real Jerry Maguire, who that movie is based off of. David Meltzer. And then we've got Daniel Chad Moore, Stephen Neville, Kristen Franklin. The list just goes on and on. You don't want to miss this event. But in the meantime, that's not what this call is about. This call is for my Academy members and you watching at home, maybe wondering what's going on, what to do next, or whatever. You type it in the chat and we'll get back to you and answer your questions. And so I've got Vic on here. You might not see his face because he's out walking a property, but he's on the call. I've got Bernie on here. And as some of my other Academy members free up some of their time, they're going to jump in here as well. And so every Thursday from 5 to 6 Central Time, we jump on a call like this inside the Academy, answer and ask questions. We role play, we call clients, we get deals together, but we sit here most importantly and sharpen each other. Like iron sharpens iron, so does one another to each other. And so that's what we're in here to do today. So with that said, I know Bernie had a question. He was dying, he was itching because he's excited. And so make sure you guys jump in here. I'm going to put the link in the comments section if you guys have any questions, and jump on in with us. So Bernie, you've got a question. Talk to me a little bit about what's going on. You're just you're going to the next level. You're starting to do some additional marketing. What does that look like? What are you up to, brother?
Well, I just did my first SMS campaign, and
awesome.
Some pretty good response. I got like 3 or 4 responses off of it, and a couple of them I sent a message back saying, you know, hey, okay, great. When's a good time to call? I have an opening tomorrow between 6 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. Central, which works best for you. And I'm waiting on them to respond back.
Okay. So you got a response back. You replied with another message trying to get a good time to call them. Is that what I'm hearing?
Right.
All right. So let me do this before I get into what the questions might be around that. I have a few questions for you, and you guys know that are part of this academy. I always like to ask you, like, May I coach you at like a 5, or do I have your permission to coach you at a 10 to give you the best result?
10.
All right. Who gives a darn what time they want me to call? If they're hot, they're motivated, and they've responded, call them ASAP. Like, pick up the phone and call them right now, because they responded. You got to put that superhero cape on and call them. Hey, you reached out and you said you had a house that you'd like to sell. I'd just like to ask you a few questions, and I'm sure you have some for me. So how's your day going? And start with step 1. That's the quickest, fastest way to get to your deal, because you let them start controlling the pace and controlling that deal, you'll lose it before you ever have it, because somebody like me is going to come in, grab them by the hand and walk them through it, right? Or maybe Vic or McLean or somebody else, right? You have to step up and lead that conversation. I don't wait for a good time to call them. There is no good time to call them. The best time to call them is as soon as you got that hot, motivated lead, boom, call them now, okay?
Okay. As soon as we get off the call, I'll call them.
Boom, I love it. Bernie's about to get his first deal right here. I love it.
Well,
and you said you got what, 3 or 4?
I've gotten like 4 deals before. I've just never been able to get them to sell.
Yeah.
So
that all changes tonight, baby. You're calling them as soon as you get off this phone, off this call. Hell, let's call them together. That might be fun.
Yeah.
Text me the numbers and whatever info you have in the private chat here in the Zoom.
Okay.
And we'll call them on this call. Let's get you a deal, bro.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
McLean, you and Bernie got the same shirt on tonight. Y'all, I didn't get the memo. Y'all got your blue polos on. I've been up since about 4:30 grinding today. Just grinding. Vic, how's your week going, man?
Man, week's been good. Started some SMSs ourselves.
Yeah?
So spent over 1,000 SMSs in the last 2 days. Got about 2-3 leads that came in from that. And got a part-time VA helping out. So got that going, and they were able to knock out 2 leads yesterday. So I'm working on all of those, calling them back and trying to stay on top of them, man.
Bro, I love the tonality in your voice. Like, that confidence is back. Yep. I love it. Go ahead, Bernie. What were you going to ask?
I got a question for Vic and McLean both. McLean,
go for it.
SMS messaging, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If you guys send out say you guys sent out 1,000 text messages, about what's your average on a return rate?
Are you talking on a return rate for actual leads or like response rate?
Response, ones that actually like respond, yeah, I have a house, yeah, give me a call.
Okay, so you're talking about like an actual lead, like someone wanting, you're not talking like screw off or like no, correct?
Right, like if I sent you a text message and said, hi, my name is Bernie, I got, I'm an investor, do you have a house to sell?
Gotcha, okay. My yes response is like, it's like 3 or 4%, like a yes, for a yes. But as a response rate where someone calls back or someone replies back, hey, you got the wrong number, that's my mom's house, no, I'm not interested, not right now, that response rate is about 30%.
I kind of figured that would be pretty high.
Yeah, and most of the ones I've got is those, like wrong number, or, I got 2 or 3 that said, oh, I'm not interested right now, but maybe down the line. So I made a separate folder and just put them there, follow up in 2 months, and then, I got more of like, screw you, or don't text me, and all the fun ones.
Yeah,
so you just
all the fun ones.
it is what it is, and you keep moving on, delete.
Yeah,
and
consistency is going to be your key. That's going to be, you can't send out 1,000 messages on Saturday and expect a lead. Like, you may have to send 200 every day for the next 2 weeks to get something.
That's what I was kind of thinking, like maybe between 200 and 500, and just drop them like maybe every other day or something.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed. and I was gonna ask McLean this.
Go ahead.
One thing I noticed is that I don't know if you have found that when I did it yesterday, I did it in the afternoon, and I got a lot more responses in the afternoon. And then today I did it in the morning, started at 9, and I did not get as many responses. So you might want to just check with your time as well, Bernie, so that you're not burning through those. Just because I like today in the morning when I was like, I was busy, but I didn't get as many as I did the day before. So I think the afternoon time might be a better hit time.
Yeah, I've done split
That's a
testing
great.
in afternoons better.
Go ahead, McLean. I was talking over you. Go ahead.
You're good. I'm about to get off in like 2 minutes. Yeah, I've done split testing, Vic, and so cold call, of course, anywhere from like 10 to 12, and then afternoon time like 3:30 to 7:30. But SMS, I tested out for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I saw a lot better response rate after 4 o'clock, which I thought would have been like different. But I guess people are at home; they can look at it. On their way off work.
Yeah, and if you watch so thank you for that, McLean and Vic, you guys. If you watch a lot of the guys that's their primary thing, you'll notice that a lot of times they'll do it like 6, 7 o'clock. They'll set it and leave the office. So that way they don't have to do anything else with it, because that is exactly right? Like, when are we looking at our phones most of the time? When we finally have hung up the 9 to 5, we're on our way home. We kind of take that brain break between the office, the house, the kids, the husband that we hate, all of those things, right? That's the best time. Or when they're laying in bed at night, right before bed, between that 9 and 11 o'clock hour. To add to that, we don't do a lot of SMS anymore just because we have so much referral business and leads calling us. We don't do a lot of outbound anymore. But when we were, I'll tell you this, one of the things that we noticed was that between Sunday and Wednesday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, between 7P and 11P was hands down the greatest response, and it tapers off after that. So Sunday night, like 7P to 9P is hands down the best time. And we tracked this for almost 6 months. Between 7 and 9P on Sunday night was the best time to send out the text. And then it just it gradually goes down from there. So if you don't have a huge list, Bernie, you're not doing, 100,000 text or whatever, I would do it Sunday evening around, 7, 8 o'clock your time.
Hey, Bryce, I got like one more thing for Bernie before I get out of the truck and go in here and represent. Hey, Bernie, on those SMS leads, you may have to hit them once or twice, but make sure you call the people that didn't respond, because some people, their method of communication isn't text message. And so you may have to get on the call with them, but ride that lead until they either tell you no or like, stop calling me, I'm going to sue you, or they sell their house, one of the two.
Right. Well, and that's funny that you mentioned that, McLean.
Triple ripple, baby.
I had a lady last night send me a response that said, I don't do business through text message. Send me a letter or give me a phone call and I might talk to you.
Yeah. Ride them all the way to the ground. Just.
Yeah.
I love it. We got a question. We got a question in the chat here real quick. Renato, your question says, how do I analyze a deal I think I found? My friend, I wish that I could answer that because it's such a vague question. Yeah, I need more answers. So if you're watching this, do yourself a favor, do us all a favor, and do everybody else that's going to come back and watch and listen a favor, and jump in live with us or give us the details in the comment section there, because I just can't give you an answer on how you analyze the deal. I don't know what your deal is. I don't know what you have to analyze, what you need to get, things like that. And so jump in live with us, my friend. Bobby, I see you, man. If you can turn your camera on, great. If not, no worries. Thanks for being on here. Tony, thanks for jumping in, man. I appreciate you. Real quick, if you guys are still watching here and didn't already get, go follow my business and professional pages, Bryce McKinley and the REI Results Academy. We have some massive changes happening over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Starting next week, I'm speaking with Damon John from Shark Tank. You guys might also know him from FUBU. David Meltzer, Kent Clothier, Daniel Chadmore, Stephen Neville, Kristen Franklin, just to name a few amazing rock stars in and around our industry and entrepreneurship. And at this mastermind, I've got a link. I'm going to put it in the group chat here. At this mastermind, I am selling, I'm actually going to be talking about what we do and how we guarantee the results and why these other individuals are in here. But I'm also presenting a masterclass workshop. It's going to be a 2-day workshop that I'm going to do and go deep dive into our business. There's going to be things that I've never talked about with our business that makes us different than other people, that the only people that know what this stuff is these guys that are in our academy, and you're not going to want to miss that. So make sure that you're at this market domination, this real estate domination mastermind event. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go click on my picture up above and look at the events that's being marketed right now, the big speaking engagements. You don't want to miss that. We've already talked about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm so glad you guys are on here. Bernie, those were great questions. And if you can type them in the chat, I can call through them. So you can do it to me privately, however you want to do that. Vic, you mentioned earlier you had a couple of questions for me. Is that correct?
No, I mean, I had a question around what to text message. I was struggling with that. So, I mean, I just did my first round. I started my first round a couple days ago, but I was, struggling on what to actually text. So I wanted to get your opinion on it. So I was going to ask you about that. That was one of my questions. And my other question was, how the heck, I mean, I've been doing good. My goal was to get up at 5 a.m., which I have been doing all week. So I've had a lot of extra time, but I feel tired during the day. So is there a secret for all of y'all like Kazim and Michael that get up and going, and how the heck you stay up the rest of the day? So that was my two questions.
Let me ask you this. What time are you going to bed?
10 o'clock.
Okay. So you're getting a good amount of sleep. The only thing that I would say is twofold. One, making sure that you're getting like at 10 o'clock, at like 9:30, start going through like an evening routine, shutting things down, a meditation, or maybe an audio book, a shower, whatever that looks like, a hot shower, going through and starting getting that routine, not just at 10 o'clock, but starting that process, setting expectations to everybody else in the house, like 10 o'clock, I'm asleep. That will help you start shutting it down. So that way you're not doing it at 10 o'clock and then falling asleep by 11:30, laying there tossing and turning. That's one secret. The second secret is throughout the day, taking little brain breaks. Like you cannot just push through all day and expect yourself, especially brand new to this new habit that you're creating, to win and be successful, because you'll fail one day and then you'll let it start happening and it'll get worse and worse down the road. So what I want you to do, Vic, is maybe making sure like a brain break. So like for me, 4:45 I'm up, but I don't start working until 9. Mm-hmm. Today I started at 7:30, but that's because I had like 3 closings and 2 new contracts and a speaking gig and a mastermind and had a lot going on, right? Give me 1 second. This is actually one of my closings. Maurice, I'm actually on a coaching call, but I didn't want to miss your call. As soon as I get off of here, my friend, I will call you in like 40 minutes. All right? All right, my man. We're good to go, by the way. It's all great news. So we're good to go. If you didn't already, listen to my voicemail, but I'll call you either way in like 40 minutes. Thank you, sir. Bye-bye. Take control. Take control. That's the key word of the year. Take control. All right. So the second thing, Vic, is intentionally making yourself take a break. So you're out at your property and you realize you've been there for 4 hours. Like, Go take a walk around the block, sit in the car, turn the AC on, turn some like calm blues, jazz, something just calm or whatever, set your alarm. And if you fall asleep, you fall asleep, but just take a brain break for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The Chinese actually do this. If you ever go to China or Japan, they actually have, what up, John Baran? Jump in here, my friend. We are live. Yes. And Lee Jones says, drink water. You guys always see me drinking water. That helps keep you going as well. You're absolutely right, Lee Jones. So yeah, making sure that you take those brain breaks, 2 to 3 a minimum at 10 to 15 minutes throughout the day for 10 to 15 minutes will change your trajectory. And come, 9:30, 10 o'clock, Vic, when you lay your head down, you'll actually start falling asleep faster.
All right, I'll give that a try.
Yeah, man. If you look at Cranston's schedule, my 9-year-old, he has his highlighted. And so like in our Leading Through Change group, I posted a picture in that other group over there. If you go look at that, how that's mapped out, or even in our example, right, in our original Academy example in the modules, you'll notice that I have like little white spots in mine. Those are my brain breaks. No questions asked. My phone gets turned off for 15 minutes and I just go check out.
All right. Yeah, I don't do that now, so I'll definitely try that.
Yeah, man. Drink water and take brain breaks. You got to check yourself out for a little bit. You got to do it.
All right. Cool.
Tony Flores, how are you, my friend?
Bear with me, Bryce. I'm trying to get that.
You're good, my man. You're good. Tony, can you hear me all right? Oh, okay.
Sure can.
Tony was taking a brain break himself. I get it. How's your week wrapping up, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Got one closed this week. Finally landed the plane, and just took a little while to get there, but
yeah,
all good. All good.
Congratulations, man. What was kind of the shift there? What happened that made it say this one's finally gonna work? What was the change? Sorry, my phone's about to die. I'm looking for my charger and it's not in my office.
No, lots of different small things. One of them being that the seller didn't have an updated ID. They didn't have an ID since the 1990s. That they were doing the affidavit of heirship, so couldn't get that notarized. Couldn't get them. That was one of the things. Another thing, just the seller information wasn't filled out. Sheet wasn't filled out right. I probably should have caught that one myself, and then just working with a different title company didn't work out for me well. So.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What did we learn going through that process, right? Because we're always, even myself, I just learned some new stuff. Had a fire damage house that I was marketing out. I learned a whole bunch this last few days. My VA made some mistakes and put it out from my personal profile. I've been bombarded. Like, I learned some stuff after 8 years and all the transactions. I'm learning some stuff, right? Like, what did you learn from all this, Tony?
Well, just double checking. Usually I'm pretty diligent about double checking stuff. But things can still get past you. Like they had a mortgage on it. They didn't fill that out in the seller disclosure sheet. And then the thing with the ID couldn't really be resolved until the DPS opened back up. So that was just, something kind of unavoidable. But other than that, stick to kind of make sure you vet your people better instead of going by someone else's advice.
Yeah, that's a huge nugget. I want to share, I know that you guys know this, but there's people watching that may not know this. And so I want to share this. One thing that you can do, if you have a seller that needs to go through like an heirship process, some sort of probate process or anything like that, you can actually save them time and money and expedite your closing and your deal, getting them to contract if they're using that kind of as an excuse, or maybe, well, we're waiting on our attorney to get this done before we can do this kind of thing. You can save them money and time by allowing your title company or your title attorney to handle it for them. And here's why. The reason that is possible and that you can not only save them money, but time is because typically when a transaction is going through some sort of probate, whether it's a divorce or heirship or deceased spouses, and they have to file and record, death certificates or any and all of the above, estate transactions, foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, things like that. Someone goes and hires an attorney. Well, one, the attorneys take a deposit, right? They take that initial consultation fee. It's like a retainer fee. And then they get started and then they bill hourly. Well, of course, the attorney's in business to make money, so they're going to bill out as long and as much as they possibly can. And you call them for a 30-second call, and it just happens to be a 30-minute call, and now you got billed another $500 because their fee is $1,000 an hour or whatever. Here's the deal. They can do all of that going through the closing process with the proper expectation. So if you set your close date out 60 to 90 days and say, hey, just let my company deal with it, title only gets paid at the time of closing. Title attorneys and closing and title companies, they get paid transactionally based on when that house closes. So if that's the case, it's in their best interest to expedite, file and serve and do all of those things that a normal attorney would just simply drag their feet and go with their normal routine with all the other stuff they have going on, especially in title states like ours, right? Like in Texas, where Tony and I are, if you have where title companies are required to have a title attorney, throughout their process, whether it's in underwriting or in their office and escrow, then if that's the case, you're even more leveraged to help your client out. And so I just wanted to share that because I know my guys know that, but if you're watching this and you didn't know that, like you can position yourself to help your sellers and your clients save thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the price point and situation or magnitude of their situation. So I hope that helps you guys that are watching this. I hope this helps somebody down the road that comes back on the replay or whatever. So Tony, Vic, Bernie, Bobby, any other questions, you guys? All right, so we're gonna do something different. Bernie sent me a lead. He doesn't have an address. He doesn't know the people, but he got a text back. We're gonna call him.
Hang on, you know what, brother? I do have the address. Hang on 1 second. Let me
You do have the address.
I do believe so. Let me see. Hang on. Let me get Mama down here real quick because she can find
You're
it.
all right. I'm gonna call him. I don't need an address. Our script asked for it, right? That's not important.
Well, I just didn't want to look like an idiot because they know I've got their address. What do you?
You're in the office. You're not.
Already got it.
You're not working deals. You're on this call. So let's stay focused on this call. We got this. Can you guys hear that all right?
Rice is calling one of them leads from yesterday.
Hello?
Hey, this is Bryce. How are you?
I'm fine. Can I help you?
Yeah, you were talking with my partner, Bernie, about the house for sale. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Charlene.
I'm sorry, you cut out there. Your name is who?
Charlene.
Charlene. You sound like you have your hands full. The kid's giving you a hard time?
No, I'm trying to get ready for a wedding.
You're doing a wedding. Are you planning it or are you getting married?
My daughter's getting married.
Holy cow, that's got to make you feel proud. Is it tonight?
No, it's not. Can I help you? I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Did I catch you at a bad time?
Honestly, for the next 2 weeks, there's not a good time. Like I said, we're in the middle of the wedding.
Oh, goodness. Well, here's the deal, Charlene. I don't want to put any more stress on you. I've got cash. I buy 30 or 40 houses a month, and if the price is right, then I'd like to buy yours and help you get one less stressor out of your life. The scary part is I don't have your address in front of me, and Bernie asked if I could reach out to you. So is there an address I can take a look at and maybe get back with you?
The house we're putting up for sale is at 60.
Time to reach back to you, Charlene.
Right now, it's pretty much chaos, so
Just
it's kind of hit and miss.
Hit and miss. Well, all I need is about 5 to 10 minutes undivided attention, and I can have a conversation with you and get a little bit more details and make you a cash offer and get this thing checked out of your life. And so that's what I'm looking for.
Well, this is our situation. We are just about finished with the remodel. We're going to be listing it for $200,000. It's a 3-bath, 2-bedroom house. I'm sorry, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house.
And you're going to list it?
1,800 square feet plus a 2-car garage.
And you said you were going to list it. Have you already signed an agreement with an agent?
No, we haven't found anything with anybody. We're trying to get the remodel finished at the same time as trying to have a wedding. So
You're remodeling, trying to have a wedding. This damn quarantine probably didn't help, and now you're expediting it, right? I get it. Okay. What type of work have you done to the place, and what still needs to be done with it?
I'm sorry?
I said what type of work have you done, and what type of work needs to be done?
We've updating the bathrooms and the kitchen, repainting, new flooring, just basic.
So just the
We
basic.
haven't got anything outside. I mean, but it didn't really need a whole lot. So
Just the basic facelift on it. What do you have left to do?
I think he has to finish up in the kitchen, counters and appliances, have them installed.
You said heat. Is that your husband? Is he doing all that for you, or do you got somebody else doing that with you?
No, I have a contractor.
You do. Okay.
I do.
You said it's about 1,800 square foot?
All right, I need to go.
Hey, not a problem. Sounds like she's walking out with the dress on now. Are you guys shopping for dresses?
No, we're just have stuff we're doing to get ready for the wedding. Anyway.
Sure. Well,
if you decide you want to make an offer, let me know.
yeah,
right?
fair enough. Have a great day. So here's the deal. She had kids with her. She's juggling a wedding, but I got more information than she thought she'd ever give me. And she's not too far off in that area. I think that she's underpriced on the retail market. And so there's definitely a deal there. So Bernie, let's do this. Tomorrow, I don't have any time to chat with you, but I'm going to make time like around 1 o'clock, and I'm going to call you, and we're going to try and follow up with her tomorrow. But I need your help to remind me. Fair enough?
Okay, now are you talking 1 o'clock your time or 1 o'clock
Yes.
time?
Yes, 1 p.m. Central. I need you to shoot me a message to remind me, because if I don't get that reminder, my schedule's already booked, but I'm going to move something at that point.
Okay, or if you want to do it too, I could do it on Saturday.
I have no time on Saturday, my friend. I've got a pool party, and I'm checking out.
Oh, you suck, man. You suck.
First world problems, you know.
We had to leave our pool in Shreveport. We weren't able to bring it with us here. It's just not a big enough yard for one.
No worries. So yeah, I just need you to 1 p.m. Central, shoot me a message like, hey bro, it's that time, and we'll reconvene. I'll have about 30 minutes, and I'll call you and we'll get that checked off. So
Yeah, because I was thinking even if you and I can't close that's something maybe slide over to Cynthia.
well, she doesn't have a listing yet, and that's kind of what I was thinking. So we can list it for her, but we don't take listings in that 200 price point anymore. Plus she's going to end up, 200. She's going to end up walking away with 150, 155, all said and done. Here's the deal. I think that the ARV, just from what I looked at, that area, North Richland Hills, is an amazing area. And so it'll move fast. People will pay more. And I think the ARV on it's more like 255. I just glanced at it. So if that's the case, 255, and you got it for 155 to 160, which is about what she'd get retail anyways, 3 or 4 months from now. Guess who wins? It's just our obligation to share that and explain it that way. And so what do? We bust out the top secret files and get the T-chart, man. We get the T-chart and we just break it down and we get that deal. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow with her.
Okay, cool.
And she's just doing a basic facelift. So she's leaving money on the table, and we can use that against her tomorrow in the conversation when we get to step 3 and we ask defeating questions. Okay.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
Sweet.
That's exciting.
Hello.
Yeah. Bernie, Bobby, Vic, Tony. What is going on, everybody?
Hey, Tony, I was going to ask you, how accurate is that rental meter?
It's a guide, just kind of like anything else. You know, it's hard to say how it only goes up by what people are recording. So I use that and use the Zillow also, just as, you know, it's kind of the general idea.
Double confirmation.
I feel like they're usually pretty in sync with each other, but good guide.
Okay.
Lee Jones jumping in. Turn that camera on. Let's see that face, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. One thing also regarding the rent-a-meter, I rather show that to a tenant as opposed to, or an owner of the house as opposed to Zillow, because you know you show them Zillow, then of course they might look at the other numbers on it. So the rent-a-meter, if you show them the rentals in that area, it's just another tool you can use to talk about the rentals. You know what the rental should be like. Going into purchase a property that's already rented. You know, you can actually go to the tenants and say, you know, I know your rents are like $850, right? You know, and they'll say, yeah. I said, well,
oh shoot.
Do you have an idea of what the rent should be in this area, you know, in a 4-bedroom property? And this just happened last week, and they said about $1,250. I said, yeah, $1,250, you're right. And they told me that, but if they didn't tell me that, I could, you know, present them. I could show them, well, take a look at this. So it's a tool, so it's helpful because you're kind of dropping a hint that, you know, the rents will likely be going up, and most people would probably know that if their rents are underneath market value, market rent.
Especially if they're under market value, they'll already know, because that's one of the things that they always leave out when you're going through that transaction toward the end. Well, I know, and then you use it after the fact. You already know that that's the case. You use it after the fact and ask them with that deadly, like, home run, knock their head off kind of question. Oh, wow, it is. How much below market is your rent? When you ask it that way, oh, I think it's like 300. Wait, so you're leaving like $3,000 or $4,000 a year on the table? Gosh, that's going to kill my bottom line, and my partner is going to be scared. I tell you what I'll do. And then you go into step 4, the close. So I don't know if y'all realize who just jumped in here with us, but one thing I love about my friends and my colleagues that work together with me here in the academy or even outside of my network is y'all take action. That's why you guys are going to be successful. That's why you are successful. And that's why guys like myself and Cheetah is successful. So if you guys don't know Cheetah, he's an international speaker, Airbnb, master Airbnb host, or whatever they call that. I don't know, but multi-millionaire. He's texting me. We're having a conversation. I'm like, bro, I'm on a coaching call. Like, If you want to jump in, you can. It's my Q&A call, Chi. You're on mute if you want to take yourself off mute and say hi to everybody. Here's the deal, guys. Like when you want to get things done, you take action. What did he do? He didn't even respond. He hasn't even looked at it. He jumped in and clicked the button. That's what you should do. So if you're on the sidelines, like watching this thing and you have questions and you wonder where your business is at, click the link and just jump in here with us. Cheetah, what's up, man?
What's up, Bryce? I just wanted to jump in here and just say hi to everybody, man. It's always a good time with you, Bryce. And thank you for that introduction. I feel like a championship boxer just heading into the ring, and you're that ring announcer that gives the entire title ahead of time. That's awesome. So, yeah, Bryce nailed it, you guys. It's all about taking action, and that's just one thing that I like to do every single day. Just a little bit of myself, real quick. Every day, I just list 3 things that I need to do. 3 simple tasks, whatever it is. I just get those 3 things done, and over time, you can accomplish a lot. So. I've learned a lot from Bryce, and he's a great mentor. So hopefully he can teach you guys. If you guys are curious about Airbnb, check out my YouTube channel. It's the B&B University.
The BNB University. Go check him out on YouTube. The dude's a stud. Heck, my own wife is coaching with the guy, learning the business on the side of her business. And so it's so cool, man. Actually, we need to catch up on that, man. And I appreciate you for jumping in here, bro.
For sure.
Thank you for dropping the fire. Pick 3 things that are most important and just execute them each day.
Every day.
Every day.
All right, you guys. I'll catch you in a bit, Bryce.
All right, brother. Love you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for jumping in.
For sure.
What up, Christina? I see you, lady. This is your shot, guys. Lee Jones, are you still with me? Turn your camera on. I need you, man. I need to see that face, bro. I need to see that face. How's everybody's week wrapping up? Any wins y'all want to celebrate? Like, what are you guys working on? Like, how can we help? What questions do you have? There he is. I see you, man.
Hey, Christina had a question earlier, and I meant to get back with her, but I was kind of tied up with some stuff about the 1% rule on rentals. So it's just a general guideline. If you're making a purchase of $100,000 house, the 1% rule is the rent on that should be about $1,000. So
Tony, check your chat there. I'll be right back. Explain that to him.
Okay. Yeah. So what I was saying in that post was just it works usually better for lower price properties. So unless it's, once you start getting into the over 150,000 or so houses, that gap starts widening, right? Okay. So I don't know what was the price point of that house that you were talking about, because it was pretty much ready to go. What didn't need rehab?
Well, that lady there, she was saying that they were in the process of rehabbing it. She was having a contractor doing it, and she's asking $2 for it. But I don't do rentals. I don't really want to get in to rentals. My mother was a manager of a mobile home park for over 20 years. And like she said, it's easy as heck to get tenants in, but it's hard as heck to get them out. And I don't know if I want to go through that headache. I just wanted to start using that rental meter more for like when I present a deal. If the end buyer is a fix and hold guy, I can say, okay, well, this is approximately what you can be looking at for rent. I was just going to use that and then like print out like a little report or something. Right.
Yeah, that'd be good. I would probably say, they probably, if they have rentals, they probably have a good idea. So you might want to say, hey, what are your thoughts on the rentals in this area? And they'll probably tell you what the area, you just justify, yeah, that's what I found, so.
Okay, cool.
Usually I find it's usually best if they can give me the answer that I already know. Just ask them, hey, what are your thoughts on the rentals and rental comps in this area? What'd you find out? They'll give you the information more than likely, because otherwise they probably wouldn't be having a conversation with you.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
And when they say it, it means more to them when they say it. And it helps also keeps them, I feel like the more you can get them to contribute to conversation, the better it is overall.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Tony, it sounds like you read that in a book somewhere, or maybe have heard that a few hundred times somewhere, man.
Yeah. Vic had, earlier Vic was asking about texting and what to text. I was doing some texting also.
That's right. I forgot to get back to it, Vic. So I'd love to hear that, Tony. And Vic, I got a couple things for you. I apologize, man. Go ahead, Tony.
No problem. I feel like you can't go by the conversation or the things that you hear other people saying. My approach is I have to have something that stands out for someone else, for someone to listen to or to respond to the text. So you really kind of got to get creative. What is that person? What kind of message does this person need to hear from somebody that'll kind of really? It's almost like you interrupt their pattern, right? But also some really good responses when they start asking questions or when they talk about different things. Besides the stuff that Bryce is teaching is like exactly what to say. They have this one, and then this one right here. This is more towards real estate. Those are both good. They'll give you some good nuggets as well. Just
where did you find those, Tony? Because you understand and know that I love NLP and conversations. I've never seen or heard of those books, and I've read a lot of books.
Yeah. So this is really the same book. It's very simple messaging. So, I'll give you examples here. I'm guessing, so if someone hasn't gotten back to you on texting, I'm guessing you haven't got around to filling out that information sheet, or so I'm guessing you haven't got, it's very non-confrontational, like, hey, I haven't seen that, that sheet filled out. So when you kind of put it on them, I'm guessing you haven't, it's very kind of like non-confrontational. I like that one. This is something similar to what Bryce teaches. Most people, in this situation would, do this or do that.
Who's the author?
Let's
Tony?
see.
Yeah, who's the author, Tony?
This is Phil M. Jones. What happens next? Similar to what Bryce. Hey, what happens next? You kind of like walking them through that process of what the expectations are for the next next steps, things like that.
Here's the deal. Let me jump in here real quick, because I don't know what's going on in the universe, but literally, you want to talk about action takers? Kristen Franklin just jumped in. If you can't see her because she doesn't have her camera on showing her beautiful face on the live.
I'm jumping on a rebounder while listening to you guys.
Turn your camera on for 2 seconds if you can.
I'm half naked jumping on a rebounder in a sports bra.
Well, you're live in our free group as well as in our paid group, Kristen. If you guys don't know Kristen Franklin, she's actually one of the co-hosts on the event that I was talking about earlier. And she's talking to me. I'm like, sorry, so short. I'm on a live Q&A. Jump in if you want. And boom, the second multimillionaire and friend of mine in my network just taking action. So that's a testimony. But no, Tony, what you're speaking there is so true. It's really when people are responding via text, one thing I want you guys to know is like more things are caught than taught. So like you could be talking and somebody's going to hear one or two things that makes more sense, right? More things are caught than taught or taught than caught. And so as you're going along and you're looking at like text messaging campaigns, like you're not trying to get them to be convinced over a text message. You're merely trying to get them to have a conversation so that you can hear their tonality, so that you can feel their energy, you can feel their body language. And so what you want to do, the easiest way to have a text conversation is that last example that Tony mentioned, is that third party affirmation. And, when they say, well, I want this, you want this, or you repeat it back to them, right? What do we teach? Rack. So you want 200,000 for your house. ... HMM, and then send it. And then send a second message. Most people I talk to, whatever their situation is, find that by jumping on the call gets their problem solved sooner than later, and it's much more efficient. And you can give them an example of what most people do and why it would benefit them. And then you ask them what time works best, 3 p.m. or 5 p.m. And you give them options. Now it's not threatening. They feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And it's ironic that we're talking about this because Kristen is in my inbox like, don't you teach or aren't you NLP certified? And we're talking about that. And this is exactly what NLP is. It's programming the other communication partner's brain to know, like, and trust you. And if other people have because of X, Y, Z, so can I. And that is what you're conveying by using that example that Tony gave. So now that you understand how that works, you can get them to more phone calls more efficiently and effectively, in turn having better conversations, in turn doing more deals. Does that make sense, y'all? I love it. Lee Jones, I see you're back on here. Real quick, tell us how your week's going, man. What are you working on, brother?
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, man.
Hey, I got another tip, like for the guys that's doing the text. Like I know one time me and Vic talking, he was saying, he asked me basically who I was using for my skip trace my phone numbers. So a lot of times when you got a lot of times you got the seller saying you have the wrong number, you got to ask them, well, do you know Mary? Because a lot of times that phone number is associated with a relative of somebody that know that person. So when I get people saying that, well, you have the wrong phone number. So I talked to one guy, he's like, yeah, man, I don't want you to keep calling. You had a wrong number and I want you to use your marketing on me. So I waited a couple of days and I texted him. I said, well, hey, man, do you know Mary? He said, yeah, that's my mom. Here's her number. So when they say this is the wrong phone number, don't just stop right there. Ask them, do they know whoever that seller is? Because a lot of times they do have a relationship to that seller. Maybe they stayed in the same house or on the same phone plan or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times they actually know the person who actually owns the house. So that's one of the things you got to do instead of just saying it's the wrong number. Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. Just say, hey, do you know Bryce? Oh yeah, that's my dad, or that's my cousin, or that's my brother.
Everybody calls that guy daddy.
That's just
I'm just kidding. That's a great tip, actually, and I know Lee. I think we talked about that, or I've talked about that same thing with somebody else in the group, and so I love that tip, you guys. Like, if you get a pushback, like, no, I don't know who, that's not my number. You got the wrong number. One, like Lee said, don't ever apologize for getting your money. And two, well, hey, that's crazy because this is the number I got. Do you know Mary? Or do you know Bernie? Or hey, do you know Tony? And when you do that, oh yeah, there is that opportunity versus just, I'm sorry, and hanging up. That's a great tip, Lee. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Still owe me barbecue, and I ain't gonna let you forget about it because you didn't tell nobody that it was open, but
look at Vic over there smiling. He like, barbecue? That's the same barbecue.
I love it. Hey guys, we got about 5 minutes. Kristen, have you put a shirt on? No, I'm just kidding. Can you jump in here, lady?
Yeah, what's up?
So we're live in our group. I'd love for you to kind of give a rundown of who your friends and what we're doing next weekend, if you can turn your camera on.
Yeah, how about I don't, because I look like a psycho.
How about
yeah. So
Talk
next
to us,
weekend,
lady.
what happened?
Talk to us. Go ahead.
All right. So next weekend we have a 2-day summit with a bonus coaching day. For anybody who knows me, I'm really big on cutting through the bullshit. Sorry, guys, I swear.
Don't apologize.
But I really like to get to the point. I really like to get shit done. I don't appreciate people wasting time. I appreciate the learning process. And I know that when I go to events, I happen to be hyper organized. So I can go to an event, learn something, take something, make it happen. I know that that's not easy for a lot of people, especially when you go to these summits and you hear, 10, 12 people and they're all great ideas. And so we're going to put a bonus day of coaching at the end of this 2-day summit so that you can pick the thing, right, that you want to implement. And we're just going to nail it down with you. And actually what Bryce was talking about earlier was he and I both do NLP. And I was just writing a post and I realized that in my advertising, I didn't use NLP, which was the dumbest thing I could have done. So I was just talking about that with Bryce while he was in this group. But next weekend, we have a really cool event. We have a lot of speakers coming in, experts in business and in real estate, Bryce obviously being one of them. We have Damon John coming in, who's going to talk to us about, kind of like the mistakes that he might have made at startup, what we should be looking at, from a business perspective. We also have David Meltzer, and if you know who that is, he is really one of the global leaders in business coaching. He's highly sought after globally. He's like the guy who has like the Dalai Lama on his freaking speed dial, right? He hangs out with Oprah. One time when I met him after breakfast, he was meeting with, Zuckerberg's sister, the one who basically built Facebook and did all the marketing. So he's pretty well known. And so it's going to be really great because he's going to talk to us about marketing and branding. So that's something I don't think a lot of real estate investors kind of look at unless you're at a certain level. I work with a lot of real estate investors and I always come back to the same kind of basic stuff, the failure to build the business as a business, right? Real estate, a lot of us get into it. It's a side gig. And so you just sort of run it and gun it and do what you have to do to make the cash. And then you make the cash, you quit your job, you try and build it, and then you sort of fuck it up. And you sort of slip up, step back, and then you have to learn to build the business. So this isn't just going to look at real estate. We're going to do terms deals. We're going to do creative finance. We're going to do wholesaling. Bryce is going to talk remote wholesaling, right? Virtual wholesaling. We have somebody doing mobile homes and virtual mobile homes. All that good stuff, all the stuff that you're hoping to get at a summit. But in addition, we're going to actually hit that business aspect as well. So it should be really exciting. It's 2 days. It's 2 days in the weekend and a bonus day of coaching for implementation and business coaching on Monday. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. Kristen, I'm so excited. So I've got my team building out some additional funnels to push traffic. I'm really, really excited. And so
awesome.
It's such an honor to be a part of your network and vice versa. And I appreciate you taking action and jumping in your tube top or not. So thank you.
Well, guys, I live in Manhattan, so we're still on lockdown. So I broke down and bought one of those little tiny mini rebounders. So I've been jumping up and down like a retard for weeks now.
I love it. I love it. Krista, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Before we jump off, anybody else have any other questions? It's 6 o'clock. I want to make sure everybody got what questions they had answered. As you guys know, Thursday is Q&A and it's your call. And so I want you guys to make sure that you guys got everything that you needed out of this call. So I know that Renato, you had a question. How do I analyze the deal? My friend, when you're in the presence of greatness, you dig in deeper and ask more direct questions, analyzing a deal that you found, run the numbers, look at square footage, compare them to other comparables, like all of the above, plus a whole bunch more. That's my answer for you. Anybody else on this call have a question for me that I can help you with directly?
I do.
What time did you tell me to call you? 1
p.m. Central tomorrow. Just shoot me a message at like 12:45. Yes. Lee Jones.
So I got this guy that have a
Can you turn
property.
your camera on so we can see you?
Hold on. How do I do it? Okay, because I'm moving around. Yeah, I got this guy that got he got a property, man, and he asked me, he said, "What you think the property worth?" So I just pretty much told him what I can offer him. So he turned around and he said, "Well, the rental stay there offered me $500,000." He's like, "But I turned that down." So my response was, it had to be a terms offer because I'm pretty sure it wasn't cash. So if you working with if you got a response like that from the seller, what would you say?
All right, so let's go back. Is this the one that you and I are supposed to call on?
No, this a different one.
Okay.
But we've been going back and forth having conversations. So his first question to me was, "How much do you think the house is worth?"
That's a
From
great
that point, I went and told him how much I can offer him on the cash.
Gotcha.
Sight
So what did
unseen.
you do between the time he asked you that and the time you gave him your number? What did you do in the middle there?
Well, I actually searched the numbers to see what I can offer. I just gave him an offer. I didn't tell him how much it was worth. I just said, this is what we can do. We can offer you this much,
What was your offer, potential offer?
$350 cash.
And what did you figure ARV was?
I told him, I said, that's sight unseen. I said, now, we able to take a look at the property. It could be more.
What did
it
you
could be
figure
more.
that ARV was?
About 600, between 600 and 625.
So let me ask you this. I know in our world that at 600 price point, you're looking at 60 to 70K in a rehab. I mean, realistically.
But still with the numbers, I was kind of confused because I kind of went for like 575-ish. So I kind of just, to keep it, because I seen a property that sold for 623. It was maybe a couple hundred square foot smaller, but it had an extra bedroom. So it was actually a 4.3. The property I was looking at.
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the same thing that I said to Bernie earlier. Do I have your permission to coach you, number one? And if that's a yes, may I coach you at a 10, or do you want to hear a 5?
Hey, coach me at a 10. I actually was waiting till the call tomorrow, but go ahead, man. I need it tonight.
Well, we're going to dig in deeper tomorrow, and I appreciate you being here now. So here's the deal. One, you just left whatever money you would have made, and looking at those numbers, that looks like about 40 to 50K on the table. And here's how you change that. Rack, 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 rack. Wow, they made $500,000 offer? Where did they come up with that number? Oh, so they're an investor, but there was terms. So why didn't you take that number? Now you just found out their pain and why they can't take that number.
Actually, they're staying in the property, so they I guess they rent it. So he said the renters offered me $500,000. I turned it down. So I'm thinking if they rent it, they offered him $500,000 terms wise on the finance. I'm pretty sure it wasn't cash.
Well, maybe it was cash. I mean, if it's a $500,000 home and they're able to afford, a $5,000 to $6,000 rent payment, they might be able to, right? I mean, the wealthy tend to rent more than they own. Look at Grant Cardone. He rents his mansion, he rents his penthouses, and he owns commercial, right? So they may just be here temporarily. And exactly like Kirsten said, right? Like Kirsten said, never make any assumptions and always dig deeper and ask the questions based upon the feelings, emotions, and logic that you think or that that they're having. Like, oh, wow, you didn't take 500? That sounds kind of frustrating. Like, why is that? Now they're going to tell you if they just didn't know, or they didn't take 500 because that was offensive to them, right? You have to figure out where their map is before you can guide them down the path. Ooh, that was fire. Jesus, grab that one. You have to know where their map is before you can give them direction. That just became my next live stream. Okay? Does that make sense? So when you ask them these questions and you dig into where they're at, then you understand where they're going. And if they're going the wrong direction, you can adequately at least show them, it'd be like if you and I are jogging down a trail and I'm like, bro, that's not the right way. And we keep going off further and further from each other. Rather than saying that's not the right way, I'd be like, hey, bro, can we stop and take a break? And I'm going to stop, and you're going to be curious. And so you're going to stop and be like, are you okay? That's what would happen, right? Because we're people and we're human and our instinct says like we're curious. And so if we're going down two paths and one person's veering off, if we ask a question that challenges their belief, it will divert a curiosity, and then you have an opportunity to engage in conversation. The more questions you ask about whatever it is that they say, you figure out and understand what map they're interpreting the world on. And now when you ask the next question or the last question before you provide a solution, you really not only challenge their thought, but you also get them to acknowledge that their thoughts are wrong. Wow, they offered you $500,000? Why didn't you take that?
I actually asked him that.
What did he say?
He didn't respond. I said that, then I said, well, how? And then after that, I asked him, like, how much would you feel? How much would you take, you know, as a cash offer and feel comfortable with getting a good night's sleep and all that? But he still hasn't responded yet, but I'm pretty sure he's still interested in.
So you're texting me?
Yes, texting. I haven't had a conversation with him. So a lot of times if they reach out to me via phone, I have that phone conversation with them. If they reach out via text, I have that text conversation with them.
If they reach out to you via text, it's your responsibility to get them onto the phone. So that way you can feel how they feel, see how they see, hear how they hear. You just because that's how they respond doesn't mean that that's the way it goes, right? That's like seeing where their map is. And so I would just call them. Okay, now you got a hot lead. They responded. And now we put them into our triple ripple. I'm gonna call them today, tomorrow, the next day, next week, next week, next week, next month, next month, next month, every 3 months until he says, hey, stop calling me, I sold it. Go ahead.
Crazy thing about that is he won't answer the phone, but he will respond to the text messages. So
ask him, hey, I understand you like texting. You must be a busy guy. So am I. When's the best time when we can have a quick conversation and quit wasting each other's time?
Yeah, that's good.
Just get to the point. Somebody like that, he's busy. He's just looking, quick response. He's looking for the answer that he wants, not the answer that he's actually going to get or the answer that he needs to hear. He's just waiting for somebody to say, yes, sir, I'll give you 525 or whatever. Hell, maybe his number is 475 with closing costs, and that makes it attractive to him. But if we don't know, we can't make an assumption. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
We'll dig in deeper, man. I appreciate you letting me, because that just challenged a whole bunch of other people's thoughts and belief systems. And I commend you on being vulnerable about that and allowing me to sharpen you here. We're going to dig deep into that tomorrow on our call together one-on-one. So here's the deal, you guys. I appreciate those of you that have stuck around this long. Kirsten, thank you for jumping in with me. Thank you, Cheetah, for jumping in with me last minute. You guys are rock stars. If you didn't hear the announcement at the beginning and you're still on, next weekend, we've got a summit that you cannot, you should not miss. I think it's like $100. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's like a couple drinks and a dinner to sit there and hang out for 2 days with my team and I and my network and Kirsten's network and Damon John and so forth. So, yeah. Let's do this, you guys. If I don't see you over the weekend and you're not on my calls tomorrow, you guys, I will see you on Tuesday. Our topic Tuesday this week is going to be, I believe John Baran and McLean are going to go in deep. And so, yeah, love you guys. Appreciate you. And if you need anything, y'all know how to reach me. God bless. Stay sharp. See you guys at the top. I'll see you tomorrow, Lee Jones. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, bro.